The beauty of dividend investing lies in a monthly, quarterly or annual dividend payout, where we can do with this amount as we please. We can either spend the entire amount or reinvest and buy more shares that will bring us more and more dividends. All we have to do is to choose the right stock that has a stable business behind it and will continue to perform well in the future, and whose dividend yield is sufficient to cover our needs. Personally, I prefer stocks that address the necessities of life, that is health, food, drink, hygiene. Stocks like Procter & Gamble or Pfizer or McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi and so on fulfill this section. There are countless similar companies. However, these types of companies do not pay a high dividend because they are well established and stable. They have no need to offer exorbitant dividends that they will not be able to pay in the future. It is therefore up to each of us to decide where to invest our money, whether to settle for small dividends at the price of stability or to take a little risk and bet on companies paying a higher than average dividend. I covered the basics of dividend investing in a recent video, the link is here. In short, I talked about investing in dividend-paying stocks or ETF funds. I describe why companies actually do this, the benefits to companies and investors when dividends are paid, or how to easily calculate dividend yield. In today's video, we'll discuss a specific example of how much money we need to invest to get to a monthly amount that covers our cost of living. For example, so that we don't have to go to work every day and can choose what we want to do during the day. There are plenty of dividend calculators on the internet that can calculate everything for us online. It's easy to get lost in all charts and cells that need to be filled in. For simplicity's sake, I decided to make my own simple dividend calculator that is designed for exactly what we will need it for, calculating amount to invest to get a monthly dividend amount. The calculator can be found for download in the video description. Once you click on the link, it will open up a Google spreadsheet. However, the calculator will be in read-only mode and you will need to download it to your Google Drive to work with it. In the calculator, go to the top menu and click on Make a copy via file. Basically, it is a simple calculator with the option to enter the amount we want to receive monthly from dividends. Determine the dividend yield percentage and choose the tax amount. The calculator will immediately calculate how much we need to invest to get the agreed monthly dividend amount. Let's look at it practically. We open a spreadsheet called Dividend Calculator and enter $1,000 in the first line of monthly income. In the second row, we enter a dividend yield of 5%. In the next line, we enter 15% tax and it pops up the amount of $280,353 that needs to be invested for a monthly income of $1,000. Perfect! We have arrived at the amount needed to invest. That's only half the battle. In order to earn a dividend, we need to find 5 or 10 stocks or 1 or 2 ETFs to invest in. It all depends how much we want to diversify the investment. In a recent video, I talked about monthly dividend ETF, where I picked 3 candidates that complement each other. They were ETFs with tickers SDIV, DIV and PGX. These are obviously excellent choices from a diversification perspective, and you won't go wrong if you go in that direction. But we are now going to look at picking specific stocks that will meet our percentage return requirements. If we were very strict, and we should be when investing, we would not select stocks from the broad S&P 500 index, but we would select candidates from the narrow S&P 100 index, where we have the 100 largest US companies. So we have even stricter selection criteria than from the S&P 500 index. That in itself should guarantee quality companies that can be with us over several generations. I found the stock selection by index at the excellent dividendsranking.com. Here we can sort stocks by country, industry, specific index and so on. We'll focus on the S&P 100 index, and right off the bat we can see which companies in that index pay the highest dividends. We have the tobacco company Altria Group, or the telecommunication company Verizon or AT&T, then Intel, Philip Morris, etc. Most of these companies, you will know, are giants of American industry. I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I prefer to invest in stocks that have a human need behind them. That means health, hygiene, food, drink. If we look at the table, we find Medtronic plc at some 13th place with a dividend yield of 3.5%. Right behind is AbbVie with a yield of 3.49%, Gilead with a yield of 3.5%. That gives us an average of 3.49%. It may not be God knows what yield compared to more than double that of tobacco company Altria, but that's the tax for stability and the almost never-ending business of Foxy needs. People will always drink, they will always eat, they will always buy sanitary products, and they will certainly always have health problems. So now you know how to calculate how much to invest in stocks or ETF funds to cover your monthly expenses. You also have a basic idea of how to find stock investing. Of course, it's up to you whether you choose stocks that have high dividend yield or choose another index from which to pick stocks. In any case, if you want to invest for the long term and, for example, subsequently pass your investment on to your children so that they can continue to build wealth, it's a good idea to think about where you put your money and whether the company you choose has any likelihood of surviving in turbulent economic conditions. I'm so glad you watched the video to the end. I can see you are really interested in dividend investing. If you have any questions, drop me a line in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. Have a nice day and invest wisely.